Hello everybody. Now this is a quick video about gun safety. There's a local gun shop that I frequent. The owner has a large jar on his gun counter, and it is about 3/4 full of live ammo rounds. Those rounds in that jar all came from guns that people brought into his store and handed to him and said that they were unloaded. Now that just by itself lets me know that there's a lot of people out there who are handling guns that don't know when they're loaded or unloaded. So I want to make this video especially just for people who may be new to firearms, how to properly clear and unload a gun before you handle it to somebody. So first off, let's talk about what a loaded gun is. The federal government says a loaded gun is any firearm that has live ammo or any part of live ammo in the gun, in the chamber, in the cylinder, or in the gun's magazine or clip that is inserted into the gun. Now the TSA in some states takes that even further, and they consider a gun loaded that meets any of the above criteria, in addition to if the magazine and the clip is not even inserted into the gun, but they have live ammo in it and they are readily accessible to the person who is holding the gun. Okay? Now, I'm not here to debate whether that is true or not. I'm just stating how the laws are written. Now, an unloaded gun is any firearm that is fully void of any live ammo or unexpelled rounds from the chamber, the cylinder, and the magazines and or clips. And secondly, TSA in some states also require for a gun to be fully unloaded is that the magazines and clips be either fully unloaded as well, or if they're loaded, they cannot be in close proximity or easily accessible by the carrier of the gun. All right, so what do you do if you have a gun and you want to make sure that it's unloaded and safe to be handled? Okay, here we've got two examples. We've got a revolver and we have a semi-automatic. Let's look at the revolver first because it's the simplest of the two. On a revolver, to make sure that a gun is unloaded, first thing you do is you have to make sure that the hammer is down and the trigger is full forward. Second thing is you pick up the gun, finger off the trigger at all times, make sure the gun is pointed in a safe direction, and simply you just open the cylinder and rotate it to make sure that it is completely void of all ammo, fired or unfired, okay? Fired or unfired. If it is not, you just flip the gun up in this direction, hit the extractor, and remove all of the casings and all of the rounds if there are any in there. Then you close the gun. That gun has been confirmed to be unloaded and safe to handle. Second thing is, if you're going to hand the gun to someone or put it down, you never put a gun down in this situation because the hammer and the trigger are under spring tension. Okay, so you've got stored energy in this gun that can be could actually injure someone if they pick the gun up and unexpectedly release that stored energy. So you need to make sure that all the energy has been released from the gun. Then it's safe to be handled. On a semi-automatic gun, it's a little more complicated, but you're following the same thing, okay? So first thing you do, you pick the gun up, finger off the trigger, you remove the magazine, verify that the magazine is unloaded, completely empty. Secondly, with the gun pointed in a safe direction, rack the slide 2 to 3 times. That makes sure if there's anything in the chamber, it will be extracted, okay? Or it should be. But now, for one step further to verify that, you lock the slide open and you visually inspect the chamber, okay? Now you verified that that chamber is empty, the magazine is empty, there is no ammo in the gun. Now, a lot of gun manufacturers are going to recommend that you just put your finger in there and physically verify that the chamber is empty. I don't recommend that for the same reason why I say you don't hand somebody a gun with the hammer pulled back, because in this situation, there's a lot of stored energy in this firearm. just spring energy, mechanical energy. And if by chance you're checking that chamber with your finger and that slide stop gets released, can you imagine that slide slamming shut on your finger? That is not going to be good. Can do a lot of physical damage to your finger. So don't do that. But once you verify that the gun is empty and unloaded, so is the magazine, now you can drop the hammer to release all of the stored spring tension in the gun. All right. You definitely want to make sure that the slide is fully forward and the breech shut. And now you have a gun that is safe to handle. All right. That's how you make sure that a gun is unloaded and safe to handle. Now, secondly, if you go into a gun store or a gun shop, and you want to present that gun to someone and it's not locked in a case or anything like that, then you take the gun and you present it to the person this way. You open the cylinder, you verify that the gun is empty, and you present it to them that way. That way, that person can see that the cylinder is empty and the gun is safe to handle. If it's a semi-automatic, you do the same thing. You empty the magazine, you rack the slide 2 or 3 times, you lock the slide back and open, you verify that the gun is empty, and you present them the gun this way with the action open so that they can verify that the gun is empty. That gives the person who's receiving that gun in that store a warm feeling that they know that you know what you're doing and you just made them feel comfortable. Okay? Y'all be safe out there.